2 weeks ago, my mother came to my apartment and handed me a little pin through the screen door. "I've been waiting for this to come," she said. It was a little golden pin depicting the lacy collar they call a jabot, with the tiniest golden lettering at the bottom. I dissent. Turns out, the moment the notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, my mother's gift-giving love language awakened, and she bought all the women in my family these beautiful little pins. 2020 wasn't just a crazy year. It was a year that sent the world into mourning. Grief. Hundreds of thousands have died. Injustice for non-white Americans still rampages on. A woman who seemingly held the justice of minorities everywhere on her shoulders passed away. I'm not sure what stage of grief we're all in, or maybe we're all in different places, but I am so lost. It felt like when she left, we began on a downhill slope. What were we supposed to do? But she hasn't left. Not really. The year is 1956. She attends Harvard Law for grad school. Her beloved husband, Marty, has cancer and is going through treatments. She has a child. She is one of 9 women in a 500-person graduating class and is constantly harassed by men in the program, told she took a man's spot. She is top of her class. Ginsburg doesn't finish her degree at Harvard, however. When her husband Marty needs to move to New York for work, she finishes her degree at Columbia University. She graduates first in her class. Flash forward a couple of years later. It's the 1970s, and she's teaching about sex discrimination in the law at her beloved alma mater, Columbia. As she's being recruited by some of the most influential leaders of the feminist movement at the time to the American Civil Liberties Union, she has become the first woman in Columbia's 114-year history to earn tenure. It's now 1971, and Ginsburg is director of the Women's Rights Project at the ACLU, arguing landmark cases for women and men alike. In the landmark Reed v. Reed case, a separated married couple was in dispute over who should administer the estate of their deceased son. At this time, the state of Idaho required the selection of a man over a woman as administrator if both were equally qualified. Ginsburg leads the fight to change this law under the Equal Protection Act, the Supreme Court ruling for the first time that the Equal Protection Act prohibited discrimination based on sex. Or Moritz versus Commissioner, where a man was denied money to care for his aging mother, as the law said that a man who had never been married did not need as much financial assistance as a woman, or a man married to a woman. Ginsburg paves the way for the court to strike down the dependent care gender classification tax law. It's 1993. Ginsburg has been appointed to the Supreme Court, where she fights for minorities and oppressed groups all across America. Olmstead versus LC. Ginsburg rules that individuals with mental disabilities have the right to community-based housing under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Shelby County versus Holder. She dissents the decision to allow states, despite some with histories of racially motivated voter suppression, to change their voting procedures without outside approval. Ledbetter versus the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, where she not only dissents the decision to deny Lilly Ledbetter the right to sue her employer for gender-biased pay discrimination, but also helps Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States, sign his very first piece of legislation, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act of 2009, a copy of which proudly hangs in Ginsburg's office for the rest of her career. 1999. Ginsburg is diagnosed with colon cancer, and for 21 years, beats it back. She's diagnosed with cancer 4 more times before passing away in her house surrounded by those she loves on September 18th, 2020, at 87 years old. But she never let these diagnoses stop her. Even when she was enduring chemotherapy and going through operations in an attempt to remove the cancers growing inside her, she never missed a single day of oral arguments. She worked with a personal trainer and, even in her later years, was known for being able to lift more than both Justices Stephen Breyer and Elena Kagan. So, it's not really fair to say that she's gone. She worked to fight systemic racism. She helped build laws and precedents that brought people a little closer together. She's become an icon of empowerment for girls and women of all ages and backgrounds. She sent out a message to the world, a message that says hope will triumph hate. So, we've got a long way to go. A long, long way to go. But we have a head start, and we have a role model that says, if I can do it, so can you. She gave us everything we need. So now it's our turn to take the reins and to do what she did best. To dissent.